Alright, well, welcome back to Lucore Automotive Services. Today I'm working on my little AMC chipper project. So I got one of my cylinder heads cut and reassembled. Turned out looking pretty good. Got a little bit of staining in it in a couple spots, but I'm not worried about that. It is after all an implement. It's only going to be running about 2,500 RPM. I was going to leave the freeze-out plugs in it and just run them, but I have a new freeze-out plug set, so I figured I might as well change them out. And there is a bunch of crud still in these coolant ports, even though we hot tanked it here and we hot tanked it at the machine shop, and there's still a bunch of crud down in there. So I think we're gonna probably flush the cooling system out a little bit more as far as the block's concerned, just to get some more of this crust and corrosion out of the ports. You would think that the hot tank can get that all out, but it just can't. Sometimes you have to get after it. So this is a AMC 304 for basically an implement, a chipper shredder for doing tree work and forestry stuff. I picked it up because I'm doing some work up at one of our properties, and I need to shred a bunch of trees, and this looked like a fun little project, and I figured, let's figure out what it needs. And the original bores were so destroyed and so out of round that I knew it was just going to cause me pain and suffering, so I decided to just freshen it up. We had a set of used 30 over pistons, which we went ahead and bored the block for. I'm going to go ahead and clean up the coolant passages, and how I do that is honestly I just poke at it with a really long screwdriver, and I also have a dentistry bit here that I use. It's an old broken bit, but it works really good for getting down up in there and knocking crud loose. And let me go through here and we'll knock as much stuff loose as we can. And then I'll tip it over again, and you'll see how much more stuff I get out of it. Alright, well, that's probably more than anybody's ever done for a piece of equipment, as far as cleaning is concerned. She's pretty chunky. There's still a bunch of a lot better. Still pretty gross. This thing's gonna turn my engine coolant brown probably as soon as we get it going. Gravity! I'll keep poking at it, see if I can get some more out. Just got a big chunk loose. I'm honestly being way more critical about this than I need to be. It's still just a farm implement. Let it be. I'm sure this engine was used to within an inch of its life every day. And as long as they got it running, it was probably used as long as it could be used. Next time I'll do this before I send it off to machining. Next, I think, let's clean up all our stuff. with the hose and brushes. I'll run my thread chasers through all my bolt holes, and then we will install our cam bearings. Then we'll fit our cam bearings, because AMCs, Buicks, Pontiacs are all pretty bad about core shift and cam bearing alignment. So anyway, we'll figure that out when we get to it. Alright, so I cleaned out my passages with the garden hose outside, got a little bit more trash out of it. I wiped down my cylinders with some Marvel Mystery Oil, and you can see there was still a little bit of dirt on the cylinder walls. I'll probably wipe them down one more time, but not too bad considering all the machining debris from the process of honing and all that. I'm going to go ahead and drive my cam bearings in. There are 5 cam bearings in this engine. Back to front. These bearings only fit in one way. Obviously the rear bearing won't fit in the front bearing spot. So I will start by installing the rear bearing all the way through, and then I'll take the engine off the stand and I'll drive the front bearing in from the back of the engine. It just allows the tool to be perfectly aligned and get a nice straight drive on it. These have one hole in the cam bearing. The cam bearing feed runs from the galley. Here's the main galley, here's the other main galley. This main galley just feeds the lifters. This galley feeds the lifters and the mains, which then feeds the rods. So this has a line that goes up here. You can actually see right here, there's a swath through here. And the cam bearings holes need to be indexed correctly at that 45 degree. And then you'll have oil flow into your cam to support oiling of your camshaft. Kind of a medieval process. You literally, there are pulling tools that you can pull the bearings in. Most people use a driver. Basically you're just hammering them in, but you want to make sure they're straight and true. And we'll start at the back, move to the front, and then we should be ready to set our main bearings in and drop our crank in. One thing I do, I already did this, but I thought I'd mention it. I actually take a drill bit of the appropriate size and I run it all the way down through until it's into the galley, just to make sure that I don't have any trash left in these oil passages, and they will get cleaned out again once the cam bearings are installed, just because some of the debris from the cam bearings being installed can get into there. And you can see how deep that is, and I clean them out with a drill bit just to make sure any additional trash is pulled out of them. Got my rear bearing in. Now we'll move to the next one. I set my tool up with my bearing on it. And this isn't a complicated process, but it is really easy to make a mistake. Pretty much everything we do is like that at this point. Tap, tap, tappy. Yes, I watched Happy Gilmore yesterday. I want to check to make sure. I need to go just a touch more. I want to make sure that my oil passage is centered where it needs to be. Looks good. So we'll do the next one. I'm sure there's a million different ways to do this. This is just the way I do it. Passage looks good. I'll take it. So my new cam was pretty tight in the bearings. And so I have an old camshaft that I use to true up my cam bearings on this engine. And before you say, oh, you just destroyed that engine, well, you got to do what you got to do. So I'll pull that out and show what I just did, because sometimes there's core shift in these and the camshaft doesn't fit true, so you put your camshaft in and it's really super tight. So what I do is I leave my front and my rear the same, and I shave the inner three out to match so that we have a straight line. And the cam bearings don't really care about the damage I just caused to them. All I'm doing is clearancing them. Let me get this cam out of here and I'll show you what I did. And yes, I will admit what I just did is pretty medieval. But a lot of what we do with these engines is exactly that. This is an old AMC camshaft. This is actually the original camshaft out of Austin's first engine that we did. That was a complete basket case. I took the center journals and I just cut and sharpened a notch in them. And it just allows me to shave those inner bearings just enough so that hopefully new camshaft will fit nice and clean. Looks like that one was the one really binding. Yeah, I need to clean it up just a little bit more. It's better than it was when I started, but it needs a little bit more. Still binding just a bit. Try and do it without beating them up any more than I already am. Do the same process on Pontiac and Oldsmobile engines. They seem to have the same issues. Oh, and Buick nailheads are real bad about this too. So that's how I clearance cam bearings when I need to. Tell me what you guys do when you run into that problem, or do you just cram the camshaft in there and hope it self-clearances? Some people do that. Not horrible. It'll be alright. It's going to live. This is the tedious part of building engines. There's a lot of little parts to it to make it all end up working the way you need it to. And if you make one mistake, you can buy a whole bunch of new parts and do it again. Yeah, that's moving nice and free now. I'm happy with that. Anything else that's going on will straighten itself out after the break-in process. All right. Alright, so my cam bearings are installed. Fit right. I got the camshaft fit, so now I'm going to basically use some hot water and clean the bores, clean all of my oil passages in the block, clean my oil passages in my crankshaft, and then I'll blow that all out with compressed air. Once it's dry, then it's time to drop some rear main seal, main bearings, drop the crank, torque my main caps, and then we will load the pistons into the block assembly. Alright, so I've cleaned all my galleys out with brushes and soapy water. Put my bearings into my block. Got some good tunes on the radio. I've got to see if we can keep ourselves from getting hit with whatever it is. YouTube violation for music. Yeah, it's not like I'm playing it to make money. I'm playing it because it's on the background on the radio. Too much oil. My seal, just so it's wet. Oh boy. That'll do. So I'm going to start at the middle, my middle thrust angle thrust bearing. I'll work out, torque them down, make sure we got good clearance. Gonna have lots of compressor noise in this one. Since my big compressor's down. Oops, is that right? Yeah, that's right. Got a little compressor running our system for us for a day or two. Hopefully that'll be temporary. I'll get my torque wrench and our torque specs, and we'll lock this guy down. Nice steady even torque. Put some anaerobic on there. Bearing in.
All right, folks, we're gonna end this one here. Need to put the rear cap on, get that piece locked down, and then this is done. Then it's just a matter of putting our rods and pistons in. Again, this is a industrial unit. Were this something we were building to run in a car, it'd be a slightly different process, but we're pretty dang close.
I couldn't find my anaerobic sealer, so I had to order a new tube, which is what stalled me.
Aha.
I'm sure it's right where I left it.
I'm sure it is.
It always is.
But we're moving forward. Should be back up and running here next week or so. We are right up against Christmas. It is Monday. You will be visiting by Santa Claus here in the next few hours. So from all of us here at Lucore Automotive to all of you out there watching, Merry Christmas. We will see you on the flip side. We do have some stuff that will be coming up over the Christmas vacation, but we will not be here working. So that's where we're going to wrap this one up. We will get back to work Thursday, Friday, something like that. And then we'll see you guys from there. So thank you very much for being here. Thank you for supporting us. Hope you have a wonderful Merry Christmas, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.